Good morning to all our listeners tuning into Hot Topic and Fresh News. Today, Monday, July 9th, 2024, at 5 in the morning Eastern Time. Let's dive into the significant global developments from today's news cycle. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to Russia marks a pivotal moment in international relations, reaffirming India's ties with Russia amidst escalating global dynamics. Despite the Biden administration's efforts to bolster the US-India relationship, Modi's visit underscores India's strategic autonomy, engaging with Russia for essential resources such as weaponry, energy, and space technology. This visit, which occurred shortly after Modi's re-election, demonstrates India's balanced approach between maintaining historical ties with Russia and engaging with Western powers. In response, the US has subtly expressed concerns, particularly given the substantial increase in Indian imports of Russian crude oil, which significantly funds Russia's efforts in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russia continues to assert its global stance, with Putin showcasing the strength of Russian alliances in the face of Western opposition and tensions with China. This complex web of international relations highlights the ongoing power shifts and realignments on the global stage. Stay tuned as we continue to provide updates on this evolving story. Hello everyone, I'm Emily, your host here at Hot Topic and Fresh News, bringing you the latest and most intriguing news stories every day. With me, as always, is the insightful David, our expert commentator who helps us dig deeper into these stories. How are you today, David?
I'm doing well, Emily, excited to unpack today's headlines with our listeners.
That's great to hear. And to all of you joining us, if you enjoy our show, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave your comments, and share our podcast with your friends and family. Your support really helps us keep bringing you these important stories. Now, today's news has something that truly surprised me. You won't believe what I'm about to disclose. Stay tuned!
Definitely, Emily. It's crucial news that really highlights the complexities of international relationships in today's geopolitical climate.
Absolutely, David. It's all about Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to Russia, a move that's raising eyebrows around the world, especially considering the current global tensions. It's not just about politics, it's about understanding where we stand in a rapidly changing world. Hot off the press.
Could you elaborate on how Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Russia plays into the broader context of global politics?
Absolutely. Modi's trip to Moscow right after his re-election sends a very strategic message. Despite the strong push from the Biden administration to solidify US-India ties, Modi is showing that India values its historical relationship with Russia. This is crucial for India as it seeks to balance its position between major powers and assert itself as a significant global player.
How significant is the timing of this visit, especially with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine?
The timing is indeed pivotal. By visiting now, Modi is making it clear that India will not completely align with Western sanctions against Russia. This visit helps maintain the balance of power, showing that while India is open to enhancing ties with the West, it will not sever its long-standing relationships.
What about the economic implications of these deepened ties with Russia, particularly concerning energy?
That's a key aspect. India's increasing purchase of Russian oil, which has risen almost 20-fold since 2021, not only supports Russia financially but also secures crucial energy resources for India. This move is strategic, bolstering India's energy security while also supporting its industrial and technological ambitions.
It seems like there's a subtle balancing act at play here. How does Modi manage this without tipping too far on either side?
It's a delicate dance, indeed. Modi's approach is to engage actively with both sides, participate in dialogues with the West while not pulling away from Russia. This strategy allows India to leverage its position to extract favorable outcomes from both Western and Eastern blocs.
I've never really pondered the consequences of this balancing act. It's quite a nuanced strategy, isn't it?
Yes, it's incredibly nuanced. Engaging like this on the international stage requires a careful assessment of both short-term gains and long-term strategic goals. Modi's actions are not just about maintaining relationships but about positioning India on the global stage as a major power with independent foreign policies.
What's the strategic significance of India's approach to managing its imports of Russian crude, especially amid such geopolitical tensions?
Well, David News Talk, India's strategy is quite multifaceted. By increasing imports from Russia from $500 million in 2021 to $2.5 billion in 2023, India is not only securing essential energy at competitive prices but also ensuring that it maintains a leverage in its diplomatic playbook. This is particularly important as it navigates its relationships both with the US and Russia.
How does the US fit into this equation, considering they haven't criticized India's actions?
The US is in a tricky position. Publicly, they've urged India to reduce its dependency on Russian weapons and oil. However, they've stopped short of outright criticism, likely because they recognize the strategic importance of keeping India as an ally in the region, especially as a counterbalance to China.
Speaking of China, how does India's relationship with Russia influence its stance towards China, especially given the recent tensions?
That's a critical aspect, David. India is using its relationship with Russia as a kind of buffer against China. By strengthening ties with Russia, India hopes to ensure that Russia maintains some level of independence from China, which is crucial given the proximity and tensions between India and China.
And what about Putin's recent visit to North Korea? How does that play into the dynamics you've described?
Putin's visit to North Korea could be seen as an attempt to show that Russia, despite its close ties with China, still operates independently on the world stage. This move wasn't well received in Beijing, which actually plays into India's strategy of engaging a Russia that maintains a certain degree of autonomy from China.
With all that in mind, Emily, would you say India's strategies are sustainable in the long term?
I believe they are, David News Talk. India is crafting a foreign policy that allows it to remain a key player in global affairs, balancing its growth and security needs with its strategic alliances. This kind of diplomatic balancing act is crucial for maintaining sovereignty in today's complex geopolitical environment.
But isn't there a risk that India might be overplaying its hand, especially with such high stakes involved?
I see your point, David, but I'd argue that India's actions are calculated. The global stage inherently involves risks, and India's policymakers are aware of that. They're navigating these waters with a clear-eyed approach to what's best for their national interests.
I must admit, I hadn't considered that perspective, Emily. Thanks for clarifying. It does shed a different light on India's foreign policy maneuvers. How crucial is the concept of balance in these international relations, especially from Putin's perspective?
It's absolutely central. The strategy Putin appears to be using, creating and maintaining these geopolitical triangles, is all about demonstrating that Russia, under his leadership, isn't just a follower of China but an independent global actor. His trip to North Korea and now the reinforced ties with India are Putin's way of flexing Russia's diplomatic muscles.
Does this strategy have the potential to shift global power dynamics significantly?
Indeed, it does. By engaging with both North Korea and India, Putin is possibly trying to reshape Russia's international image and assert its influence. This could certainly stir the geopolitical pot, particularly in Asia and beyond.
And how might this affect the US and its allies?
For the US and its allies, this means recalibrating their approach to both Russia and the regions involved. It complicates the global strategy, especially in terms of how they manage their own alignments and respond to Russia's moves. It's a chess game, and each move by Putin prompts a countermove by the West.
So, as we're nearing the end of this discussion, where do you see this heading in the near future?
We're likely to see more maneuvers like these. As each side tests the waters and gauges reactions, we can expect a series of strategic adjustments. It's a dynamic process, and as these developments unfold, they will certainly keep us on our toes, analyzing every move in this intricate international dance. Thanks for tuning into Hot Topic and Fresh News today. We delved deep into the complexities of international relations and the strategic moves on the global chessboard. It's been fantastic sharing these insights with you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay updated. We truly appreciate your support. Every like, share, and comment helps us bring more such content to you. Share our episodes wherever you can.
And don't forget, we're here keeping it light and insightful every day. Make sure you tune in next time for more intriguing discussions. Who knows what the news will throw at us next? But whatever it is, it'll definitely be worth a watch.
Thank you once again for joining us on Hot Topic and Fresh News. We're looking forward to having you with us in the next episode. Your engagement and feedback mean the world to us.
Keep those notifications on, you won't want to miss what we've got lined up.
Stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news, our channel's content will amuse.